Now, writing recaps in Textbroker is kind of a pain in the ass. That's because a plagiarism checker that they use, Copyscape, will flag anything that's similar to the original article. But that's kind of what a recap is a brief summary of the article itself, so of course it's going to flag it. That's because a lot of the information that's in a recap is quite similar and you got to figure out a way to get around it. Well, I'm Michael with WriterSanctuary, and today I'm going to go over how to avoid plagiarism when doing recaps in Textbroker. Now, when you're writing recaps, a lot of the information is going to be exactly the same, whether it's you're writing about a person, place, or thing. And sometimes even the headers will wind up being pretty close to what the original was. The trick is to make sure that you write the recap according to your own voice and put your own spin on it, make it more unique. So I'd like to introduce you to something you can use. It's called the Compare Tool on Copyscape. Now, what this tool does is that it compares content from two different sources. Now, you can enter in a URL or paste the text directly for item 1 and then paste your text in item 2. The system will then scan through both fields and find anything that's similar. Now, for this example, I'm comparing two different how-tos for using Yoast SEO. It's not exactly a recap, but it'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So on the first item, I pasted the entire content from the website, and the same as the second. And as you can see, the one I'm pasting in, I'm calling it mine, is at 4,175 words, and it's 2% matched against the item number 1. 2% match is actually really good. Anything under 5%, you should be safe. So what words are matched? Well, we can scroll down, and then Copyscape will show us that these 3 words here are the same, these 5 words, and so on. Now, for the most part, you are going to come across a series of words like one of the. That's probably one of the most common phrases that you'll find on anything on the internet, actually. So when it comes up to stuff like 3 words, you got to kind of look at it because some of them are going to be common and it's not going to really matter much. But then you come across stuff like this where it says how to use Yoast SEO, and this one is how to use Yoast SEO. Now, the difference between the two is that I have this one I know for a fact is a header, and it uses proper case. The same with this one on the other site. And that's probably going to be one of the more common ones, is comparing headers and certain bits of information that are going to be virtually identical. Like if we scroll down the configuration wizard, where we're talking about the configuration wizard, both of these are tutorials based on Yoast SEO, so those are going to be similar no matter what. Certain things you have to do, like choosing options in the tool, the breakdown of what each tool does. So a lot of these are going to be the same no matter what. That's only because that's how this tool is built. And when it comes to a recap, you're going to come across similar things. But for the most part, a good rule of thumb is to look for chunks that are more than 3 words long. So like these 3 here, I'm not going to worry about. But what about if I came across something like this, where it's 5 words long, an organization or a person on each side? Now, I know for a fact that this is an option that's built into Yoast. So no matter how we write it, this is a proper term because that's the actual name of the function. There's really nothing we can do about it. So we can scroll down, see if there's anything else. The same with this one. I know for a fact that that is the actual term for this particular tool. Same with multiple authors and Yoast SEO. We'll scroll down a little bit more, 7 words. So this one here, post as cornerstone content is, and that's identical in both of these. Now with this one, I know that I can change it because the post as cornerstone is part of Yoast, but we could change it to where that isn't going to be the same as that. So that would knock it down to a 4-word comparison. So I could go back and change that. So we scroll down more. This one I could probably change simply because you can do, it's similar and you really don't need to worry about it much, but I could probably change it anyway. Same with this is where, but you can go through and check to make sure that your content is a little bit different. Now it says in your RSS feed, I could probably change that to be something different, but that is another feature of Yoast. So it's going to be really hard to fine tune this anymore. But I don't know if I'd really worry about it because it is at 2%, and that's exceptional for any client or Textbroker manager. Now when you do come across things that are similar, it takes a little bit of practice, but you can rewrite those sections to where they're not flagged as being identical. Sometimes this means restructuring a sentence, maybe adding a bit of information to it, or removing some stuff that's not relevant. There's all kinds of different ways that you can make it stand out and be unique. The cool thing is that nowadays Textbroker editors would get on once they detect that an article has been flagged for plagiarism. Now they'll go through and do the exact same thing that I did, where I showed you how some words are similar and others can be changed, and they kind of take everything into context because, like I said, with a recap, you're going to have the same information. And unfortunately, a lot of clients don't like that. So when they see that Copyscape says that you're 20% copied, sometimes they'll send it back for a revision. One thing you can try doing, it depends on the recap, is to use synonyms. The point is that you need to offer kind of a unique perspective of the recap. But like I said, some things are going to be the same no matter what you do, and those things you really can't do anything about, like with proper names and places and themes. But using the Copyscape Compare Tool will be a great bonus if you're trying to make sure that you don't get flagged. Just go through and fix the words and move stuff around. Test it again and find out if there's anything else you can check. So how often have you been flagged for plagiarism? Leave a comment down below. I know out of the 5,000 articles I wrote, I think I've been flagged for plagiarism like 3 times. That was before I found this Copyscape Compare Tool. I use this Compare Tool nowadays to make sure that my writers that I'm managing don't copy the stuff that I have them referencing. And yes, I've had to send it back a couple times saying, nope, you got to rewrite this section here. But it's pretty handy if you're trying to come up with something unique. And that's the key to succeeding on Textbroker, is to always offer something that's absolutely unique, or at least as close to it as possible. Like I said, 2%, it's a really good score. Try to strive for anything under 5. Now, I know sometimes it's not going to happen depending on the recap, and you just got to cross your fingers. That's one of the reasons why I stopped doing recaps. But this was before they started getting the editors involved, so I might try doing them nowadays, but well, especially now that I got Copyscape. And the best part is that the Copyscape Compare Tool is absolutely free to use. And I'll leave a link to the Compare Tool in the description down below. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos about Textbroker, WordPress, freelance writing, or anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That's going to do it for me today. I'll see you next time.